Hi guys, it's me, Karen. This is part 2 of my last tutorial using polymer clay and again using the Premo Sculpey, just black, and using the other textured stamping tiles or whatever these are called. This is just the spider web that was included in this 3-pack from createalong.com, and these are spiders and webs, 3-piece, and they do great impressions. This was the first one I did, and you can look at that tutorial because the beginning of it is going to be basically the same. Rolling out the clay, kneading the clay, getting the impression on it, cutting it out, so on. So if you need to see that part of it, go back and watch that one first. That's how we did this one. And so this is this impression. And again, they were in I think her name is Sherry. She made earrings, 2 pairs of earrings, and I'm doing things my way, but I'm making these pendants and just using the textured web, cutting the circle out, and I did not have any circle cutters, so I just used my Exacto knife, and then after they were baked, I used my Dremel tool to clean that center out. And so now we are on to, and again, same thing. I use some this rub and buff, but you can use any kind of paint, especially if you're going to seal it, which I plan on sealing it with this DuraClear from Deco Art, a gloss varnish. So, and then I got some of this. I went up to Michael's. I hadn't been to Michael's in, gosh, 2 years or whatever. And I was really surprised at their quality of beads. Is they've stepped it up a little bit. But this is glow in the dark specialty glitter, they're called, but it's not really glitter. It almost feels like some kind of a plastic or something. So, and then I had bought these cute little spiders and bats and whatnot. This is glitter or confetti glitter. Yeah, of course I took the name of it off, but I only bought a few things. I bought the clay and these glitter things from Michael's, so I didn't spend that much money. Because clay is about, I don't know, $3 and some odd cents for 2 ounces. And I've not even used a whole 2 ounces to get 2 of these. And then this, what I wanted to try, because I think I mentioned before, when I first played with polymer clay over a year ago, it's probably closer to 2 years, and I kind of gave up because I really wanted to incorporate it somehow with my gemstones. That's kind of what I'm known for. And though I did some stuff, I wasn't happy with what I was doing. I could do stuff like this, you know, maybe not necessarily this detailed, but just using textured stamps and stencils and stuff like that, alcohol ink. So it was fun what I did, but I really wanted to use gemstones. So when I cut these out, I'm like, I wonder, because I could probably distort that center somewhat to fit a stone. So this is a Carnelian stone, and I just used this little stamp to create this frame, and then I just did a noodle around it, textured it, added this little spider to it. Isn't it cute? I'm so excited. So this gal has inspired me, Sherry, I think her name is. She has some very cool projects she's done with gemstones, necklaces, earrings, and she even, I think, did 1 or 2 cuff bracelets. So I'll be checking those out. But I love this. Absolutely love this. So now I have all these other ideas roaming around in my head about some of the other texture plates I could use, or stencils, or anything really, knowing now too that I can bake most gemstones because it's only at 275, whereas with a torch you can't do a torch. It'll absolutely shatter your gemstone. But you can, most stones, get them hot, because I do soft soldering, and that's applying pretty high heat, like 700 degrees. So I know that most gemstones are okay to heat at some degree, but I made my own bale out of clay, textured that, and I just sealed it on the back with resin so that the stone seemed okay. It was definitely good on the front after baking, but I wanted to make sure it would never come out of the back. So I'm excited about that. I think it's so cute, especially for Halloween. Yeah, so excited. And so I'm in the middle of, I've already done 2 layers because I use UV resin most of the time, because 2-part, it's just a couple day commitment. And UV, you can create things pretty quickly. So this I got on Amazon, and it's worked very well for me. I haven't had any problems. But I also like Let's resin, UV resin 2-part. So I work in layers really for this. So I did the typical where you put the tape on the back so it seals it and it won't, spill out. And then I did just a real thin layer just to make a backing on both these. Then I put some stars. These are glow-in-the-dark stars. And I'll show you that at the end. And then I did a second layer with some more. Now, the one thing I'm thinking, and again, you know me, I'm always thinking, is this cute little spider, what he would look like on top of the glow-in-the-dark stars. So I think that's kind of cute. So one of these, I'm going to do the spider. And I don't know, maybe I should do 2 spiders, or I could do, yeah, I think they're cute with the black spider in there. But I could do the, let's dig one of these out. Do I have one of those out? Oh, it's okay. Let me dig this out. Just to see. See, that's cute too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do 2 different spiders. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And let me get this stuff out of the way. And I'm gonna add another layer. Let's pull this out. And this one out. I don't think I need any more stars, but we'll evaluate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put to kind of the top. And you can dome these if you want, but I usually evaluate that later. Make sure I don't have a bunch of bubbles and stuff. So let's pick this guy up. Come on, little guy. Let me zoom in. So we're going to put him in here. I don't want them centered. I want them kind of off center. But you can evaluate that too towards right before you take it out. And I'll be checking for bubbles. Yeah, baby. Cute. And the way they like you to get your bubbles out is with just one of these long lighters. And it's just to get the surface bubbles out. If you see any other bubbles that appear to be down in there, which I kind of don't. It's not one. That's from a previous one, but that's okay. Some projects, it's not that big a deal to worry about bubbles. Sometimes the bubbles actually play into the design, as I have found. Okay. I'm going to take this out into the sunlight. And even, I don't know if you can see down here, on this end, I'll try to bring it up. There's like a little dot of resin, and I don't mind that. I mean, some people would freak out, but guess what? There's dewdrops and whatnot that get caught up in spider webs, do they not? So I always look for ways to justify not having to get upset over lack of perfection. Again, I don't know what's going on with my lighting. I really don't. It seems so dark, and I have all my lights on. But maybe it'll be okay. So I'm going to go put this out in the sunlight. And here I had some little resin pieces I had been playing with last week in some of the molds I got. And then once I made them, I mean, aren't they cute, the little ghosts? Once I made them, I was like, how do I turn them into anything? Because they're so small. And, you know, to drill a hole, yeah, I guess I could with the big ones, but then we were talking these itty bitty little ones, and the bats. I mean, where would you drill a hole? In the wing and hang it? I don't know. So I just kind of put them all in a bucket or a little cup rather, and put them aside for later in these itty bitty little moons. So yeah, today I thought I'd do a little bit since I have the resin out. I use this Frenshion. I've had this for a long time. It's 500 milliliters. I got it on Amazon. I've experimented with lots of different UV resins. As far as regular resins, the two-part, I like Let's resin. They're very reputable, and you can pretty much find anything you want. But at the time, and this was 2 years ago that I got into resin, because again, I like a challenge. And when I see something I like, I want to see if I can create it. And then I get bored. So, anyway, I thought as I was working with the clay that maybe I can just get some of my resin molds out and use them. So I filled this up about a third of the way, got the bubbles out. I think, but you know, when you think you've gotten the bubbles out, you may not. So always double check. They tend to gather around the edges. So if you bring them out into the center, at least you can kind of see them. But I think I already got them. Anyway, this is what I'm doing here. And then I'm just going to put this little guy in here. Either way, it doesn't matter because this is going to be, you know, double-sided. And then I ended up getting some of these little confetti sparkles and stuff, so that'll work, right? And even got some glow-in-the-dark stars I could use. Let's put a couple in them. These are fun, the stars. It seems so dark in here today. I don't know why. I have all my lights on. And then this other one I did up here, I think I was gonna do a bat. And this one with this little guy. And we'll put a star or two. And the only thing I'd say, I mean, I cure my stuff in the direct sunlight. I do live in Florida, so that's not a problem if we have a day or two here and there that we have clouds or a storm, then I just wait. It's not that big a deal. And if I absolutely have like almost finished something, then I'll use the light, but I don't like lights. They takes forever, and when things are curing, they do smell pretty bad, the UV resin. So I don't like being around that kind of smell. And so if I just take it out in the sun, bam, I mean, before you're even got the piece set up, it's already kind of cured enough that at least it's not going to go anywhere, if you know what I mean. So now I just added more resin, checking for this one. I didn't fill up, and this one either. I like to work in layers, and that's why these things work. In fact, what I experimented with, and I already put all those away, were the molds, as you saw in the clay. They were not translucent like these. Typically with UV resin, it's best to use these that the sunlight can, or the light can penetrate. But these were a solid pink mold, and I used pigment, black pigment, and white. As you can see, pretty dark, because typically, again, UV resin is not really designed to work with mica powders, and that's what I used, or most of the inks. You can get inks that'll work with UV resin, but they end up fading so bad. So UV resin is best to use if you're going to use it, just say with little floral designs, dried flowers, or stuff like this, where I'm not adding any color. The color's in what you're adding to. So I take mine out into the sun, and they cure much faster with less problems, in my opinion. And then I typically will put them on a cookie sheet or something, so I can carry them without having to worry. Worry about, this is flexible, so things can shift. So if you work on a flat surface that you can just pick up and move, chances are pretty good things aren't going to shift. Okay, I'm going to take these out into the sun and see how things go, and then I can add more layers and whatever. So, do we want some glitter? I've got this kind of glitter. I've got this kind of glitter. Ooh, maybe some purple would be cool. Green. I think I'll put a little bit of purple in here. Just for fun. And let's see. I already had some of those stars in there, so I don't know. I don't know how these are going to look, but I wanted to try. I mean, that's kind of the fun of playing with resin, is your additives, right? And what I have discovered from personal experience is less is more. When it comes to glitter or anything, really, start with a little, because once you add it, if it's too much, it's too bad. It's not so easy to undo. A lot of times glitter kind of can stick together. Okay, I think I want a couple more of the glow in the dark. What did I do with those? Oh, they're on the other tray. And in fact, let's see, would this be cute? Sorry, I'm not talking, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Okay. On up here. And because I've got layers going on, I'm going to keep that in mind. Let's add one more. And again, I don't really see any bubbles. And why I'm using these particular molds is they already have the thingy in them that will, oh, I'm off camera, I'm so sorry. They have the, what do you call that? The little stud thingy that will already have provided a hole that you can either put a jump ring or whatever. So here's our little ghost. He's cute. And then here's the ghost. Oh, that mica powder that I used for the ghosts in this has a sheen to it. Okay, I'm gonna put this out. In the sun. Okay, and these are done with the next level. And that's what they look like thus far. And because these did a glue-on bail, they don't lay straight. So when you're laying them to cure, if you want a flat surface, you kind of gotta hang them off the side, right? So they'll lay flat. This one is flat. This one is curved. So this one lays flat, this one doesn't. So just hanging over the edge. Now I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and add more resin because it's still indented. And I don't know about doming it, but I definitely wanna get it more level. And I may put a couple stars on the top even because this big spider is kind of hidden or hiding the stars. So let's see. So again, adding a little bit at a time. I can always add more. This is about as high, I think, as I want. This one might be good as well. So let's see. Kind of want a couple stars on the top. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and put these back out in the sun as well. And these are ready for their final layer. And again, I don't overfill it. And these are just stuff that you learn by, practice. It's like anything else. Add a little and see how it looks. If you can spread it out and you've got the desired doming you're looking for, or then you can stop. If not, you add a little more. And in the beginning, I recall all kinds of things. I was really disheartened with the whole thing, and there is a lot to learn. But I'll tell you, there's some great YouTubers out there these days. When I first started, there wasn't. Daniel Cooper is a phenomenal resin artist. And he mostly deals with UV, but does some two-part, but he makes incredible stuff, and he's always experimenting. So I'll give him a shout out and link. Hopefully I'll remember to link his YouTube channel. And he started out a complete beginner just a couple years ago, and now he's actually a featured artist with Let's Resin because he's just got a knack for it. And he's kind of a funny guy. I like him. I like people that like to share. So again, I'm wondering if I need more stars. See, I didn't put a whole lot of stars that glow, but I think I want a couple. for the 3D effect. This one I'm not too thrilled with. So maybe the stars will help break up the purple. I don't know, we'll see. And a lot of things I created with this I did not like and ended up trashing or just giving away or whatever. And the thing is, don't get disheartened. And if you really love a craft, you'll stick with it and practice. Really, that's the truth. Okay, these are going to go back out in the sun. Okay, and that level is done. You can see they're right up to the surface. So for the backs of these, I'm just going to do a light coat of resin on the back. Do I want resin on the back? Or just the gloss? I think I'll just do the gloss on the back, and may even do the front with the gloss. Okay, so this gloss, let's shake it up. And what did I do with my brush? Here's the paintbrush. And I just pour, you can pour a little bit in a bowl, or I just pour a little bit in the cup, and literally a little bit, because all these things go a long way. Probably should have rinsed that brush. And this does a good job, this DuraClear. It goes on a little cloudy, but it dries clear. So I put it on kind of thick because I wanted it to get in all the grooves. But as you can see, I'm kind of brushing it off now. And I think another big reason, because I can be kind of a perfectionist with certain things, and but recently, after watching several other polymer clay artists that I consider successful because they're pretty popular and have sponsorship and all that, is their stuff isn't perfect. And what I mean by that is, like, I wouldn't be happy with the roughness around these edges, but they are okay with theirs. So I'm like, that's probably the nature of the beast with polymer clay. Now, maybe you can be a fanatic and get things perfect, but I don't have the patience for that. The other thing I like about this DuraClear is its cleanup is easy with soap and water, unlike resin. And I'll do the back after this dries. And it's pretty quick drying. It may say for the final coat to leave it set for overnight, but for this one, and then just to be able to show you guys what the final products will look like, I think we'll be okay, because I only did one coat on this, and look how shiny that is. Crazy. That's DuraCoat, that's not resin. This is resin. And the only reason I did resin, again, was to make sure this stone wasn't going anywhere. So that's what these will look like with just the DuraClear. And I'll do the backs of those when these are dry. And for the big reveal, let's see what we have. I'll take these out. You can see how easy they come out of the mold. And actually it looks like this tip broke off in there. So there you go. But it punched right out. And you can see the edges are rough. And you can just take your little Exacto knife and typically clean that up. So there's that. And you can take your time with this. Some people like to file them either with sandpaper or Dremel or whatever. And it just depends, again, on the sharp edges, if there are any sharp edges, if you're concerned about. But this came out pretty clean. And you'll notice when you start buying molds, I know what everybody says, you get what you pay for, and this is very true when it comes to anything, really. But if you got to prove it to yourself, do it. I'm a firm believer. I always start cheap. I'm a cheapskate. I try to start off just with the basics and as least expensive as I can. Let's take this one out, see if we do any better with this one. That one came out pretty clean, I think. At least that didn't break off, but it did. Again, you can see some pieces around it, but those come off very easily. I think I like this one the best. And how you can do these, as far as bales, you can always just put a jump ring on, but I'll tell you what, because they're so thick, you have to use a giant, like at least a 10 millimeter. And sometimes those aren't big enough. And you have to open them so wide that sometimes they get distorted. And I work in my dining room, which is out in the open, and I always have my ceiling fan going. I usually crank my AC down to about 73 because I tend to get overheated. So you can see this is double-sided. I think it turned out pretty cute. I mean, a kid would love these, I think. And I can probably put these in the shops, but I wouldn't probably charge more than, say, I don't know, 15 bucks or so for these, even though there's a lot of work involved. Anyway, getting back to the bales, you can get these, they're called pinch bales. And they open up and they have these little ditties on them. And so you can open them as wide as you need. And you'll look how wide this is. That still isn't wide enough. And you put it over it, and then you put one down in the hole, and then the other one, you get the hole and you just pinch it. So there's that one. And I just brought a silver and a gold. I think I have copper too. And these can also be reversible, so that's the good thing, right? So here's those, and that's strictly using UV resin. These inserts were UV resin, and like these glitter, the different glitters, the spiders, and then the glow-in-the-dark stars. And I'll show you what all those look like at the end. So there's those. Okay guys, here is the final of part 2. I just showed you the little resin pieces, which I think are cute for kids and are fun to make. And then this that I'm excited about, my Carnelian with polymer clay. I love that. And then these were the 2 with the glow-in-the-dark spider web. I added a big spider on that one, black one, and then this one I added the orange with the glow-in-the-dark stars, and then sealed them with DuraClear and resin on I domed the top of these. So let me know what you think. I think they're pretty cute, and it's something different. I got to do something different every now and again because, like I said before, I get easily bored. And if I see somebody making something cute, I want to try it. And isn't that what crafting is all about? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's definitely a fun project. And let me know what you guys think. I'd appreciate a like and a share. I'm always open to comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm going to take the last few seconds and show you these in the dark. And here you go, guys. This is them in the dark. Pretty cool, huh? You can't really see the spider in there because it's not a glow in the dark, but the stars are. There you go. It works. It works. I think they're cute. Hope you enjoyed this. Happy Halloween!